afternoon and welcome. I'm going to be talking about a few words about Abacus. We are a public company, so I will be making some forward-looking statements. First of all, just a few comments on management. Without going into people's bios, just suffice it to say that we all have decades of experience in the junior mining space. We've all been quite successful in developing companies, developing projects, selling them on, that sort of thing. Share structure. We've got about 100 million shares out. We're trading at a pretty low level at the moment. We've been knocked down as well as everybody else in the market the last year or so. We're starting to see some uplift in the share price and trading activity the last few weeks, especially with the copper and the gold price jumping up a little bit. So our two main projects, we have two porphyry coppers, one in BC and one in Nevada. The BC project is called Ajax. It's a past producer. You can see the old open pit here. It was in production with Teck in the 1970s. We have a new deposit underneath that historic resource. We're right next door to New Afton's, the New Afton mine, New Gold's property, which has been in production for almost 10 years now. Our other main project is just about an hour outside of Reno, Nevada. It's another porphyry copper. This time it's porphyry moly. The BC one is porphyry gold and copper. And I'll just run through some of the details on both of those. So first of all, a few words about Ajax. This is an advanced project. We ran the project up until about 2012. In 2010, we brought in KGHM, the large Polish miner, to run the project. They took it up through the feasibility stage, up to the mine development stage. Unfortunately, they got a no from the BC government in terms of the environmental process. We have been working with our partner to get the project back on track. It's a matter of getting full buy-in from First Nations, which they lacked first time around. You can see some of the parameters of the project here. Lots of contained metal, large, long life asset, and this was done at lower commodity prices. So we expect this to grow eventually. So if we go on to the Nevada project, I'll spend most of the rest of the time on this. We are here on the left-hand side of the camp. It's called the Willow property. These green dots are the porphyries in the camp. So there's 4 known porphyries in the camp. Directly east of us is the very large Ann Mason deposit, and it's folded offset Blue Hills. Ann Mason is about 2.2 billion tons of 0.3 copper, so it's a very large deposit. And it's beyond the feasibility study. It's being actively worked. Further to the east, our company used to be known as Quatero Resources, is now called Lion Copper and Gold. They have the 3 remaining porphyries in the camp. The old historic Yarrington mine, mined by Anaconda starting in the 50s for about 20 years. They also have the Bear deposit, which has never been developed, and MacArthur, which seen some limited development work. Lion Copper and Gold optioned their entire property portfolio to Rio Tinto last year in May, and they've been actively drilling it and working that project. The other thing of note is the only producing mine in the area is the Pumpkin Hollow deposit, which is a skarn owned by Nevada Copper. So people have looked for a fifth porphyry in this camp for about 40 years. We think we found one over on our property. People have looked in this area with a dike swarm, and we think we found where that circle is. So without going into a lot of detail, we've done the usual geology, geophysics, lots of geochemical sampling. We have a nice porphyry center, porphyry target here. Lots of quartz veins, lots of diking, a very strong copper and soil anomaly in this area, with a very strong mag low. And with the mag low, we interpret as alteration. And indeed, in this area, we see all sorts of alteration in the rocks that are very well altered. So that sort of became that area right in here became our target area. So in 2 slides, I'm going to show you a cross section, almost east-west and looking from the south. Before that, we got to talk about a little bit more geology and how these things form. So basically, this is based on the Ann Mason deposit near us. There's a series of intrusives, these granite intrusives that come in. Each one successfully fracture the rocks, more fluid flow. It's this last phase that carries the copper. And as these things extend, they start to drop out the metals, and a deposit forms somewhere in this dike swarm. So after formation, which is about 170 million years ago, everything gets tilted off to the west, and you end up with the deposits almost lying on their side. So that's sort of our target. When we started here, we were fortunate in having all sorts of old data. The old timers did quite a bit of drilling. We have the core, so we could go back and we could log it, we could sample it, we could photograph it, we do all sorts of things with it. And what we came up with was this flat-lying series of dikes. Looks very much like Ann Mason. So we theorized, and there's copper and there's moly in these dikes a little bit. So we theorized there had to be something over in here. There's about a 2-kilometer gap with no drilling. So this is a plan map of this target area. We have drilled it twice. We have 6 drill holes into it. Unfortunately, we lost 2. The drillers lost 2 in faults. The remaining 4, we hit that late granite, the one you need in the camp. You have to have the granite to have a porphyry. The corollary of that is there's no known instance of that granite existing without a porphyry deposit attached. So we think we found something. If you look here, I just point out some of these numbers. Really long intercepts of low-grade copper. So the grade in the camp is about 0.3. We're hitting almost 0.1. We're getting individual areas of 0.2 to 0.4. So we go back to our section. This is our target. We're still got about a 1.5 kilometer east-west interval. In and out of the page, it's roughly about 2 kilometers. We're hitting copper down here about 400 meters depth. So we need to do more deep drilling. We still got quite a nice target in here. The nice thing is as we move west, we're coming a little closer to surface. We still think there's a pretty good chance of finding something in this area. It needs more work, needs more drilling. So just to wind things up, we have 2 main copper deposits, one at an advanced stage. If we can get it back on track, it'll be a long life mine. We also have Willow, which is looking very promising in Nevada. And that's about it. Just the last mention is that's our drilling, and that's Ann Mason. So we're pretty close. So it's a good area to work in, very easy. You can drive a 2-wheel vehicle across the property. You can be on the property in less than an hour from Reno Airport. So it's not like some of the BC stuff that's helicopter access, and so it's a good place to explore. So if you need more information, we're in booth 412. Come and see us. Thanks very much.